In this video, I'm gonna talk about why when you finally forget about your toxic ex, all of a sudden she's blowing up your phone out of nowhere. In fact, this happens more often than you think, and it happens every single time you're with somebody who's toxic, and that you can expect that this is gonna happen for the rest of your life if you don't handle this properly. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you what's going on with her, how to handle this properly, and what you can do moving forward so that you don't have to deal with this anymore. My name is Ed Baxter, and I help guys in betrayal situations. I've coached thousands of men. Tens of thousands of men have come through my doors in one form or another. I've had over 3,000 guys come through the Betrayed to Badass program. And that's what we do. We'll get you to that place where you make the right decision for you and your children. So somebody who's toxic is really somebody who's very manipulative. It's somebody who thrives on power and control over you. And so if they've broken up with you, they cheated on you, and they moved on, and you've kind of obsessed about them, and now they hit you up again, you're like, oh shit, here she is again. Now maybe I got another shot. Maybe I can make it work this time. Just realize that you're just going back down, and she's playing a game of rope-a-dope, and you're about to go down this circle once more, and it's not going to be as good as it was last time. It's going to be worse. It never gets any better, because usually they've learned more, and you getting hooked on this idealized future of what could be with this person. And I like to think of it as a karmic test. So whenever that karmic test comes, it's in your best interest to make sure you fucking pass it with flying colors and ignore it completely. But what is this? Why is she doing this at all? Well, if you notice that manipulative people cannot really be single for very long, so they monkey branch. So if you're with a woman who was with you and then she decided to cheat on you or leave you, and she monkey branched. In other words, she didn't let go of this relationship until she got onto another one. Most people with jobs do this too, right? I'm not going to quit my current job until I have another one lined up. I mean, it makes logical sense, but in a relationship, it feels pretty manipulative because it is. You know, you just want your person that you're with to just be honest with you and say, hey, look, this isn't working, and then just end the relationship before moving on to somebody else. But most of the time, you'll find that in a manipulative relationship, there's always this monkey branching going on. In other words, she's already got the other guy on the hook before she lets you go. Already talking to him, texting him, sending photos and stuff like this is already going on and in play. That's why, like, after you break up with her or she breaks up with you, you find out she's with somebody else 2 weeks later. It's like, yeah, she's been cultivating this for about a month or so. She doesn't really want you. She just wants the power and control that she once had. And so typically the reason that this is happening is because whoever she was with before ain't working out so well. And so the manipulator is always thriving, the toxic person, always thriving on that thrill of the sexual attraction, the infatuation. And so when it's not high, it's not really going, she's going to say, well, I don't love him anymore, because they don't know the difference between love and infatuation, because they're dealing in the game of power and control, of physical desire, of materialism. They're not going to this higher order love, the spiritual game. They're not interested in that. They're just interested in power and control because it gives them safety and security. She's pinging you because something's going on in her life that she doesn't like. She's feeling a little bit lonely. Maybe she's getting tired of this guy she was with, and you're the next easiest available option. Again, easy and available. So she's testing you. She's doing a bump test. Hey, is this guy still ready? Is he still interested? And as soon as you go, hey, yeah, it was good to hear from you, game on. She won't tell you that she's with somebody else. Or if she is with somebody else, she'll say, hey, it's not going very well. My marriage is terrible. We've been in a dry marriage for years and stuff like this. And that guy has no fucking idea that she's saying this. And he doesn't know that it's this way. He thinks everything's just fine. But she's telling you this so that you sympathize and empathize with what she's doing. It's like, oh, well, she's not getting the love she wants. I guess I got to be the one to give it to her. And so you getting caught up in this game that she's playing, this manipulative game, just puts you back to where you were last time. Something is happening in her life where she's like, I'm just not happy anymore, and I need to go back to what's quick and easy. So point one, again, they're just seeking control. And point two is they just need a lot of validation all the time. So they're going to come to you. Even if the relationship isn't going bad, they may still want that validation from you. Maybe the guy's on a trip for a couple of days. She hadn't seen him, so she hasn't been poured into with validation for a couple of days. So she pings up an ex-boyfriend just to get his attention for a couple of days. And then she goes silent for a couple of months. You're like, what the hell happened? Well, he came back from his trip, and then he goes back on his another trip. She pings you again. You're like, what's going on with this woman? She's very hot and cold. I thought she was happy to see me. He's like, no, you're just the in-between guy. You're just a backup plan. And this is typically what happens with narcissists or toxic or manipulative people. And so when she's not getting it in her relationship, she's ready to move on. Now you're feeding her all this validation. And this is really what she's after. And so you'll find that if she cheated on you, or if she's cheating on her husband, or if she's cheating on her boyfriend, she's usually looking for somebody to give her some sort of validation that she's not getting anywhere else. If it's an ex-wife and you're really growing and you're doing really well, and you put her out of your mind and you're starting to really crush it in life, then all of a sudden she pings up out of nowhere, your happiness is something that she wants. She can't generate it from herself. She can't generate self-acceptance and self-love to herself. What she does is she doubles down on delusion of artificial propping and saying, I am the best, I am awesome, I am the queen, everybody must toe to me and do what I want. That's why I manipulate, lie, and cheat. Because if I just ask for it plainly, they're not going to give it to me, because who would give anything to somebody like me? So I have to manipulate in order to get what I want in my life. And so when she sees you growing, when she sees you lifting yourself up and having great time in your life, you find a new girl, find a new woman, then she's going to get jealous of that. She's going to get jealous of your happiness. And she's like, well, I need to get that happiness back. That guy has it. I'm going to go get it back from him. Or she sees that you're growing outpacing her growth, and to start outpacing her, then she's going to be like, look, I can't have that because it's a bad reflection on me. So I'm going to go bring him down. I'm going to go rope-a-dope him, bring him back in, and then lay him low and show him and show myself that, yeah, he's not really doing that growth. I just proved it to myself. He's not really doing what he's doing. It's this game of envy. And you'll see people do this all the time, especially if you're a guy who's high performing and you're going out there and you're crushing it in the world. You get these people around you that they say they're your friends, but on the other side that they're very envious of you. And so they're just waiting for you to fail. And they'll pull you in and be friends with you, just waiting for you to fail with cutting remarks in the background. And the fourth point is that she doesn't want to lose her supply of validation, control, and approval. And so what she's doing is she wants to make sure that you're still available for her. And so a lot of these women, one of the telltale signs is they'll say, I have a hard time making female friends. Like, I like having all guy friends. And this tells you that generally this woman needs a lot of guy attention. Guys are always looking at women in their life. If they're attractive and they're friends, they're like, could I actually potentially have sex with her? And she knows this and she's leveraging this. This is why she doesn't have female friends. She'll flirt a little too much. She'll make herself a little too available to these guys. She's leeching off of this sexual validation from these guys. And these guys' girlfriends don't like it. If I'm a woman and I have a friend that's like this, and she starts acting like this towards my boyfriend or my husband, I don't want her around. And this is why she has a hard time making female friends, because she's throwing this game of sexuality out to all the guys in her vicinity. And so what she's doing is she's creating this harem of approval-seeking, supply-giving guys, a bunch of guys who are simping for her. And she'll do it even with her friends' husbands and boyfriends. She wants all the guys simping for her. And so she's just pinging you to make sure you're still available if she needs you. That's all it is. And so you're like, whoa, we got another chance to catch the one that got away. Not really. Not if she's very manipulative. Not if she's very narcissistic. Because all she's doing is she's just shoring up her supply. And she wants as much as she can get. She wants as many guys as possible chasing after her. This makes her feel validated. This makes her feel important. This makes her feel special. She just wants to be the queen. She has a small God complex, and she is the God. So, of course, everybody's going to love her. And this is what she wants. She wants to be worshipped. And if they have a really high view of themselves, they may just see you as a challenge, like, how can I manipulate him and get him back? And they just want to play this game of power control, like, hey, can I get him back again? That's all I really want. And then when she gets you back, that's it. Or maybe you found a woman that you really like, and she just wants to sabotage it just because she can. Because it's like, hey, you're supposed to like me, remember? No, you can't be with me, but you got to still like me because I'm the one, right? I'm the one you should always be in love with. Even if I don't care to be with you, you always need to be with me. They may get caught up in ego tweaks. In other words, if another woman's interested in their guy, they're going to get more interested in their guy. It's like this ego tweak. And all humans have these ego tweaks. And so it's good to recognize them, just to not be subject to them. The manipulator or the toxic person or the person who has a lot of narcissistic tendencies will get subject to ego tweaks quite heavily over the common person. And so you're going to find that you having another woman around or you moving on with your life is going to invoke a type of jealousy within her. She wants to pull you back in. It'll fool her into thinking that she actually wants you, and she doesn't. And then once she gets you and she feels like you're dialed in, you're all reeled in, and all of a sudden she's disinterested, and you're like, what's up with the hot and cold behavior? It's like, well, she satisfied that jealousy fix that she had because she roped you back in. If you've been dealing with this for years, you've been dealing with this in a recent relationship, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Hit like to this video so other guys can see this as well. Again, I deal with this kind of thing all the fucking time. In fact, I deal with this on a daily basis. Most of the guys that come through the Broken to Badass program are dealing with lies, manipulation, and betrayal. If you're dealing with that as well, the Broken to Badass program is absolutely for you, and it works. You can get this turned around within a week. And if you want to learn more about it, check out the link in the description below.